here's another one of the vintage machines. This is a Knitmaster GB1. Upside down. So yeah, it's gonna need some TLC. Hopefully we can get it working. Straight out the box, it's not too bad. There's one or two bits of rust on it and some bent, I'm not quite sure what you call needle pushers. I'm not quite sure, to be honest, because I'm not that experienced. It's come with cast on rag and all the accessories, minus the counter, but I've got a counter. So it's really tiny, it is really small, lightweight. So yeah, I'm going to look forward to getting this all cleaned up and adding it to my collection. I'm getting quite a few now, but I like the oldies. I like the really old 1950s. So see what I can do with this. So basically it says that you've got to pull this out here, and you're supposed to pull it until it releases past the needle that is apparently broke. So let's just pull this out. I think there's, let me have a look on the other side. Let me have a look. No. Yes, there's on the other side as well. So there's another one there which I'm going to pull out. And then we should be able to get, I'm going to have a look how we get to the needle, and then once I find out I'll show you. Now the easy way to take the needles out is, what I've found, is to take these needle retaining bars out. But in doing so, if you lift this up, then all your needles will just drop out. But unfortunately, if you can see, I've got one that's lying across the bed there. Now, I don't know how I'm going to get that out. Can you see? It's twisted. And quite a few of them did that. I shook it and I managed to get them out, but there's two in here that just does not want to come out. So the only thing I'm left to do is take it to bits. Wish me luck. Okay, that really doesn't help the issue, just taking this off. I think what I've got to do is got to take this plastic casing off here. So I'm just going to take this off and see how we go with that. I was kind of hoping not to have to take the whole lot to bits, but let's just go with it. I've taken the back off, and this just all pulls off now. So I've taken the screws out of that. So let's just hope that when I turn this over, nothing falls off it again. So it's not just that top row. I'm going to have to undo these as well. Right, so this now lifts off. So we have access now. Hi, Daddy! Oh, shut up. Access now to these. Oh, shut up, Aiden. Right, so now I'm going to clean it all. Can you see how dirty it all is? So the sinkers, that's what I was thinking. Sinkers, so I can get these out. Whether I can get this back together again is going to be a miracle. Okay, to get these sinkers out, you have to sort of like manipulate them out. Pull, it's hard to do. Lift up, and then lift up, twist again, and then they come out. And then when you put them back in, you're going to have to put them back in from the inside, like hook them over. Very, very. I can't believe I've undertaken this, but it's a good job I have, because what I've noticed, I wondered what all this nasty stuff was, but it is like a retaining sponge, a very thin one. So I'm going to have to try and find a replacement for that. So it is a good job that I've had it to bits, even though I didn't want to take it to bits. I think really it needed to be. Just look at the state. So yeah, set aside a week to do it, and we might get a working knitting machine at the end of it. Okay, so what I've done is I have cut this original sponge down in order to fit the strip, keeping the fabric side up, and hopefully when I put it together it should fit snugly back where it originally was. And I've used double-sided tape to anchor the sponge down to the strip. So, I mean, I don't know if any of this is going to work, because there's not an awful lot of information about the GB1. So it's just a matter of me trial and error, basically. So if this video does help anyone, then I've done my little bit to help. Okay. Here's a tip when you're cleaning your needles and these sinkers. I remember the word this time, the name. Basically soak them in some surgical spirits, and it will kind of get most of the muck off, but I can see these are particularly bad. So what I do is I soak them in surgical spirits with a squirt of machine oil, and then I use some sandpaper and I put it on a hard surface so I can give it a scrub. But what I found, that if you take the amount of needles that you need to clean out of the surgical spirit, try and clean them straight away before they dry too much, because that way it's just easier. That's what I've noticed. So it's taking quite some time cleaning these, but they do. It's a job. Usually you're just cleaning needles, but this machine has got the added sinkers. And while I'm on the subject of needles, let me just show you in comparison. This is a standard size needle, and this is the size of these needles, so you can see they are quite small. So yes, carrying on. Actually, while I'm comparing the size, they are small in length, but they're not small in the hook bit. They're quite big, but it does say in the book, in the instruction manual, that you can use DK yarn and thicker yarns. So interesting little fact there. This is from a Jones knitting machine, so I'll show you that in another video. Okay, so now's the time to put it together. The only problem is I've left it 2 weeks and totally forgot, but I'm going to refer to my videos. Right, so I've cut this sponge strip. It was a bit loose, so what I've done is I have just put some double-sided tape on the back of it and just basically slotted it right down into that groove. Now bearing in mind, I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll find out together. So I can't see why not. So now I'm putting the sinkers in. So you'll notice that there's holes there. So like I've explained previously, you basically Go from that side. Very difficult to hold the camera and do this as well. So push it all the way down and turn it round. Obviously this is going to be a lot easier when I'm not holding the camera. But you put them in like that, and then they go in that hole there, like so. So that's one, and I've got it resting on 2 books to give me a bit of space. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put all the sinkers in. Now I've put all the sinkers in, I'm going to try and put it together. Right, so this goes back in there like so, and then we're going to line the screw holes up and then reattach it. So I think that's how it goes. Right, so basically I've put that back together. Looking at it, these were quite reasonably tight, so I've tightened them up. There's like an indentation, so I've just done exactly the same thing. So now it's putting this top cover on. So basically I'm going to feed that back in, line it up and replace the screws. Okay, I've managed to get it all back together. It all looks nice and clean. Now the bit where I kind of remembered where the needles went was out of my hands, remember, because they all fell out. So I'm at a loss. So I think I thought, oh my God, I forgot to take it all to bits. But no, I don't think I have. I think it's got something to do. You've got to pull these out in order to change whatever needle. And it says to pull it past the one that needs changing. So I'm figuring, I mean, I don't know, they've got to go in through that way, and this must anchor them in. So I'm just going to go and experiment and see what to come up with. Hoping you're following me, because it is weird. Basically, this bar here, when you put the needle in, the other bar traps it, traps the butt. I don't even know if I can show you what I'm on about. Right, let's have a look. So basically that stops it from going all the way in. Oops, sorry. And then this bar traps it, so it doesn't move. Like I say, bizarre. Anyway, well, here it is all finished, and I am really pleased now that although it was unintentional that I took it all to bits and cleaned it, because it's running so lovely and smooth. So I'm really quite mesmerised how these sinkers move. It's just amazing. And I absolutely adore this little counter. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, probably I've gone up and down here 25 times just to watch this thing move. And I like the way you can just go any way you like. Here we go, I'm playing. But yeah, here's the products that I've used. I've used the sugar soap on the casing. That's ready to use, so you can just squirt it on and it gets all the muck up. Ballastal oil is a gun oil, but it also cleans. Excuse me. Surgical spirits, you can get in bigger bottles, but it was all that was available to me. I couldn't find anything that the local chemist was selling. Apparently you can get it on Amazon in bigger bottles. And machine oil. What I do with the machine oil, I don't squirt it directly onto the machine. I make a solution up in a glass jar and a couple of squirts of that, it just helps lubricate all your latches. And excuse me, the machine, the ballasting oil, I cleaned all this. I got a cotton bud all down it, got some real gunk out of it, and then I've sprayed it, not loads, you don't need it, it's very greasy, but it doesn't dry nasty, so it gives it a protection rather than the oil that can be used. So yeah, thoroughly recommend that. I got that off eBay, so I'm not quite sure where else it's available to buy, but so I'm still struggling to put this wrong way round, that's perhaps why. So yeah, there we go. I can't get over how small this is. It's just a dinky little machine, and I think I'd buy it just to look at it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope it's been of some help, although it's been a little bit chaotic at times because I really didn't know what I was doing, and I probably won't know what I'm doing in the next machine, but it's a matter of stripping it down and finding out what I'm doing. So and also all the other help on YouTube is a great source of information, and I thank everybody. Can't name you all because I've trolled the YouTube looking for various people demonstrating, and yes, so I'm really pleased with them. I'm so grateful as well. So I hope this video has helped, and I hope it's not too long and boring. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye then.